Now, if we go back, though, to the main topic, though.
Yeah, main topic.
Do you believe that James 2, or do you believe in general that faith and works is necessary to get to heaven? Is that what you were saying when you brought that verse up?
I don't know. I guess it's good that we're having this conversation to kind of stimulate my thought process on that.
Okay.
You know, I think some people have a lot of faith, and it's not all black and white, right? It's not like, you know, it kind of is a struggle every day, right?
Yeah.
You know, having that faith, doing the right thing, having that faith, having something happen in your life that might be a trial or tribulation. I love James out of the Bible.
Yep.
That's my favorite. Count it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kinds. Testing your faith produces perseverance.
Yep.
Let perseverance have its final work on you, so that you may be mature and complete. And then it says, if you ask wisdom for God, like He'll give it to you.
Yeah. Yep,
you just can't like be doubting every day. But some people don't like James out of the Bible. They don't like.
Yeah. I love James.
But some people that really struggle with faith, I think, don't want to believe that, like, you know, I don't know. It's a tough call, right?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. So going back to it then, so you're not too sure then on faith and the works thing, is that?
I think faith and works together. You need both to make it to heaven. I think so. I think I'm pretty convicted about that. I just don't know. I just don't want to say ultimately because I'm not the judge.
Gotcha.
You know
Understood.
what I mean?
So I'm going to show you this verse real quick, and I want you to tell me what you think about it. And the reason why I'm going to give it to you is because I used to believe the same thing you believed.
Yeah.
I used to believe that it was by faith and works. And if you'd have asked me why I believed that about 10 years ago, I would have said, well, I live a pretty good life. I'm not a super evil person. You know what I mean? I'm not bad, you know, but I'm also not 100% perfect. So therefore I'm not super evil. But, you know, I mess up. And when I do, I ask for forgiveness. I go to church. I read my Bible. I was baptized, and, you know, and I'll repent of my sins whenever I get there and mess up. And in the end, I mean, when I die, I was a pretty okay person. I love Jesus, and I know I'm going to make it to heaven. You know what I mean? That's going to be my reward.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the problem, and here's where I missed it. Is that the Bible, first of all, does not teach that heaven is a reward.
Right.
The Bible teaches that heaven is a gift.
It's a gift. Free gift. A free gift.
A free gift at that, right? Now, if heaven is a free gift and heaven is not a reward, what would make it different? Like, what would be the difference between the two? Well, here's the thing. In Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9, it tells us, it says, "For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast." Mm-hmm. So according to the Bible, is getting to heaven based on faith only or faith and works? According to Ephesians 2, 8 and 9, it's faith only. Now, obviously, I'm sure it's ringing up here. What about James 2, though? Because the Bible doesn't contradict, right?
Faith without works is dead.
Right? Because you can't have one saying faith without works is dead and the other one saying it's faith only, not of works. That's obviously an obvious contradiction, right?
But it's a little bit of a mind bender. That's what the thing is about Bible, right? It's like those parables. Mm-hmm. It's not meant to comfort us. It's meant to challenge.
Gotcha.
You know.
Well, here's the thing with Ephesians and then James. So I'll go a different route. This is not normally where I go, but I do want to answer it for you. We'll start with this. According to Ephesians 2, 8 and 9, talking about going to heaven, it says it's by faith, not of works. So let's establish that, right?
Okay.
But then we got James 2 saying faith without works is dead, right? So one of those two, well, they're both obviously contradicting each other just on the surface. But if we believe the Bible doesn't contradict, what's going on here? Well, here's what we find. In Ephesians chapter 2, it's talking about faith, no works necessary for heaven. In James 2, it gives an example, and it says faith without works is dead. Then he gives the example and says, if I have a brother who has no food, no clothing, mm-hmm. and I come to him with all the faith to believe that if I were to pray for that guy, that God would rain down manna from heaven, or God would clothe him just as he clothed the lilies, you know, and he would just instantaneously have clothes here. If I truly have that much faith, but I don't go home and get the clothes that I have at home mm-hmm. and show some works by just giving it to the guy, is my faith only going to help this guy? No. He's like, I need faith and I need to go home and produce works.
And actually let the affect of the Bible have an effect on what you do.
Yes. So it's saying faith without works is dead when it comes to helping other people.
Helping others, right?
But
not
faith,
about salvation.
But not about salvation.
That's nice.
That's where people, they missed the mark with James.
Yeah.
The whole book, even in James 2, he starts off by saying, my brethren. What doth it profit the man if a man say, so why would he be talking to brothers and telling them they're not saved? Like,
No,
if you're a brother, you are saved.
Right.
Now,
so salvation and...
Yes, salvation is in Ephesians, and James is talking about how does it profit to help other people if you just... I'm just going to talk to you about Jesus all day, but I'm not going to help you.
That's awesome.
Even when Jesus was giving the food to the folks, right? And he wanted to give them food, the disciples were like, oh, just tell them to go home. He was like, nah, dude, I mean... They're going to faint by the time they get home. Yeah. I'm going to give them some food right now, right?
Yeah.
So his faith and his works produce the food.
That's brilliant, man.
Right? Yeah. And that's all it's talking about. Now, here's where people get tripped up, though. So I'm going to answer this, though, because whenever you go back to read James, if you were like me, who I used to study stuff all the time and whatnot, and whenever it was brought to me, I was like, all right, well, what about this right here? What about this little part, right?
I've been the same way my whole life, man.
Perfect. In James, look what it says. It says, what doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Can faith save him? And it's like, can faith save you? Right here it's saying no, right? No, right? Well, here's the thing. Save you from what? Well, if you read a verse or two ahead before that, it says, so speak ye and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. For he shall have judgment without mercy that hath showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. So we're talking about God punishing us if we don't obey him, right? Then he goes on, he says, what doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Can faith save him? Save him from what? From God's judgment. So God is not your father, right? If God is your father and you decide that you don't want to do anything for anybody, like you don't want to help, you don't want to profit, or in the sense that you don't want to do anything or treat people right or whatnot, he's like, okay, you think your faith is going to save you from God's punishment? No, God's going to come after you. So you need to have faith and works. That way, God doesn't punish you in this life, right?
There you go.
But will he punish you by sending you to hell? No, because your salvation was never based on your works.
Yes.
Your salvation was only based on faith.
By grace. And
makes sense, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
Now, here's the thing now. I just want to go through this just to make sure. In Romans 3:23, it says, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Meaning that
all rags, not one man has done good.
That is correct. No such thing as a perfect person, right?
Except Jesus.
Except Jesus Christ, which is actually a really good point that you make, because in Luke chapter 18, I usually start my conversations off in Luke or Ephesians or Luke, but I want to go back to Luke real quick because I love this passage right here where the rich young ruler. So in that story, the ruler comes to him and he says, and a certain ruler asked him saying, good master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? In other words, Jesus, how do I get into heaven? How do I, what good deed do I got to do to get in? And Jesus said unto him, why callest thou me good? None is good save one that is God. Thou knowest the commandments. Do not commit adultery, do not kill, do not steal, do not bear false witness, honor thy father and thy mother. And he said, all these have I kept from my youth up. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Now, we know the rest of the story, but towards the end of it, Jesus says, what's impossible with man is possible with God, right?
Absolutely.
Now, when we think about this story real quick, I love this story because the guy comes to Jesus asking him, what good deed do I got to do to go in? And Jesus looks at him and stops him. And the first thing he says is, he was like, all right, I need to figure out what this guy means by the word good.
Yeah.
He's like, why callest thou me good? Then he says, there's none that's good save one that's God. So if we have a scale here of 0% to 100, 100% being good, 0% being bad and wicked, how good is God? According to Jesus,
100.
100, right?
Yeah.
But notice what he says, though. He says, no one is good except one that's God. So God is, so in order to be considered good, you got to be 100% perfect.
Yeah.
So if I'm at 99%, am I considered good or bad?
Wicked stuff.
Wicked, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So if getting into heaven were based on faith and works,
yeah,
or faith and good deeds.
We're all wicked hearts, man.
Yeah.
We're all wicked hearts. If it came down to us, the only reason that we love God is because he loved us first.
Because he loved us first, yes. And just like that, the conversation ended, guys. I was not able to finish up that conversation there, but I just wanted to make this as a note that not every conversation gets to the end. Some people get distracted, some people don't want to talk, and unfortunately this one didn't end, but he promised to meet me again next time. See you guys on the next one.
The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few.